Hello and welcome to another video. It's Josh here, and today we're taking a look at tips on how to build your personal brand utilizing social media. And to make this easier for you, if you look down there in the description box, I've linked up a free guide on 10 steps to building your personal brand on social media. So we're just going to take a listen now to a recent podcast that I did on one of the South African radio stations called Cape Talk, where we're talking about this topic. And if you have questions, type them away in the comment section below.
Being signed up to things like Facebook, Twitter and Instagram isn't enough on its own to boost your brand. You need to make social media work for you. So how do you do that? Digital strategist Joshua Roode joins us now with his top tips. Joshua, of course, is the managing director of Cape Town is Awesome, and as a digital strategist has worked with national retailers, local celebrities to help brands and influencers bring the best work into the online space. Joshua, I've missed you. Hello.
Likewise, SJ. How are you keeping?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm so well, and glad to be on air with you again.
Yeah, it's always great to have you on. Listen here then. Let's talk social media and using it to build your brand. Let's start off with somebody who knows very little about social media. They've got this brand. What is the best way? How do you get, and things that we want to know, how do you get Twitter followers? How should you be using Facebook to boost a brand? Is there such a thing as overkill when it comes to posting? Go. Let's start at the very beginning. Step one.
Step one is stop worrying about the numbers.
Oh.
So I think there's a big misconception that you have to have a lot of numbers in order to be successful online.
Yes.
When it comes to a personal brand, perhaps you're trying to land a new position, and that recruiter or company is going to go and check you out, and are you consistent across the board? So I think that's quite important. But with regards to that personal brand, I think it's what do you want to be known for? Mm-hmm. So that vision and that message you put down is very, very important, and it's very important to make sure that you have consistency across those different platforms. And, it's okay to, even if you're just using it occasionally, as long as you speaking out that vision in the right way and creating shareable content and building that perception, it doesn't have to be overly complicated.
Is having no social media profile worse than having a social media profile that's not updated? Because sometimes I'll go to somebody's, let's say their Twitter page, and there's been no action since 2013, and it's frustrating.
It might be frustrating, but at least there's a point of contact. Hopefully they've got the app on their phone, or they'll get an email prompt that someone's tried to tweet them or send them a direct message. But I think if you've got no social media presence at all, you're leaving money on the table.
Really? But even to have not commented for more than 5 years?
Well, I guess, maybe there was a lot of creators that were on Twitter, or people that started building their Twitter and found that they were far better suited towards Instagram. And that has become their main platform. There's no right or wrong answer about it. And maybe they feel that Instagram attracts their ideal audience or ideal customer or brand that they're wanting to work with. Maybe it's their ideal way that they want to share aspects of their life with their friends and family. So I think having a clear-cut idea of what you want to use your social media profile for is quite important.
Okay. Let's talk about the different social media platforms. How important is it to understand each of them? And also, can you use each platform for promoting your brand in different ways? I mean, in terms of, let's say if I want to say, I've got a book launch coming up in 3 months' time, can I just fire off the same sort of status on Instagram, on Facebook and on Twitter, or should I be tailoring each to the benefits of each platform?
You can distribute content across all the platforms. That's a time management tactic to try and firstly have consistent messaging, save yourself time. And you can post to multiple platforms. You might have to adapt it based on character limitations for something like Twitter. But the one thing that I would like to suggest there is don't go into a hard sell, because the key is to build relationships through online. And in order to convert, let's say, for example, you want to promote early sales, pre-sales of your book. If you've done 5 to 7 trust-building engagements with your audience and telling them about how they could possibly get early access to your next book signing, things like that, and converting them into your ecosystem, a few steps down the line, then you can say, oh, by the way, I also want to offer you my book at 10% or 15% off. Take advantage of this opportunity now. You're only going to get that benefit once you've gotten them into your ecosystem. If you just go onto all your profiles and just say, buy my book, chances are you won't have a very successful hit rate on that. So the key of social media is to build relationships and do that on a regular basis with consistent content.
One of the things that really attracts me to brands particularly is the idea that I'm being spoken to as an individual. How important is that? Well,
what happens online needs to replicate real world scenarios. If I just walked up to you randomly in the street and this was just said, hey, buy my product, or do this, you're going to be like, I don't know you. So if I just take the time to utilize, I can see your name on your social media profile. I can say, hi, Sarah Jane, thank you so much for messaging us, or thanks for the feedback. Have human conversations. The only difference is we're utilizing a platform to communicate through, just as we would whether we're speaking on the phone like we are now, to an audience by the airwaves on radio, versus a sit-down face-to-face. There has to be human conversation. So it's important to keep those foundations of communication there.
Okay. Let's say, for example, that somebody has just opened a new business and they've got themselves sort of set up in terms of their website, etc. What does it depend on the nature of the industry that you're in as to which social media platforms you should be signed up for, or should everyone in this day and age be having an Insta, a Facebook, a Twitter, a whatever?
I don't think you have to have all of them. Some things might not be conducive to one or the other platforms. I think you should still register the profile there and put the basic information for redirect to your lead generating point. Maybe it's you've got a Facebook group. You want to rather just direct them to your website where they can get most of the information, or an opt-in email. But I often say go with what you know. So maybe most people have a Facebook account. I know that's a big generalization, but majority of people starting a business will probably have a Facebook account statistically, and they probably know how to utilize it to some extent. So I'd say spend 80% of the time on the thing that you know, and the other 20% learning and building those other platforms and learning how to communicate on them. There's no real right or wrong answer. We have developed these best practices, but sometimes a little bit of trial and error and trying things out to find your ideal audience. There's nothing wrong with that. So I don't think there's a set rule that you have to have Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Instagram TV and Snapchat, because it will become overwhelming. Do what you can with what you have, and try to do that in the best way possible. Let's
talk about regularity of posting content and sharing content. I'm afraid that I am somebody who is an oversharer of notes in life and online, and I just kind of throw stuff out there. I'm like, yeah, come to this is happening, do this, but actually, what should one be doing? Is there an ideal amount of post that one shares sort of every day or a week? What's overkill?
There's a sort of recommended sweet spot of 3 to 4 posts per week for individuals. Trying to maybe establish a very specific message. If you have like a more big volume community driven page like Cape Town is Awesome, like we have, that volume rate is a lot higher, somewhere in the region of 4 to 8 posts per day. But that's because the size of the audience is a lot larger and the way the algorithms work. So I think 3 to 4 times per week, if you're not a frequent user, will definitely help you get by more than enough. There's nothing wrong with posting frequently if it's adding value to your audience and they feel like they're getting something from you.
Right.
People don't follow people, they follow the vision people put out. And if that vision is clear and it adds value and people feel like they're getting something from you, they will consume that content on a regular basis. I don't think we can't all hit home runs on every piece of content we put out, but then we must adapt and adjust and innovate accordingly to that. So spamming is if I'm constantly trying to shove product down your throat.
Is there a way of tracking how well our content is doing?
Most definitely. I mean, all of these platforms are built around metrics. We seem to love data from especially a brand perspective. So you can utilize Facebook Insights if you've got a Facebook page for your business or for your online shop. You can look at the Insights section on your Facebook page. If you've got an Instagram account and you've converted it to a business account, you can also get those insights, like when is the best time to post, when is your audience most engaged, what's your current age group, male or female, where they're located. You can get that on your tweets as well. You can click, there's like a little, looks like a set of graph bars, and you can click on that and it will tell you sort of what type of reach you've obtained and things like that. And then obviously YouTube being the second biggest search engine owned by the main biggest search engine, Google, you can get also all the metrics and tracking till your heart's content.
And when it comes to posting, if you have got a number of online platforms, is there a simple way that you can just sort of schedule all your posts? You don't need to go into opening up Twitter and then opening up Facebook, and then what's a way that you can just kind of do a one button share? Yeah,
kind of like a cross-platform broadcasting suite. So yeah, Hootsuite's probably the most popular. There's Sprout, there's Buffer. I've used all of them. I also would like to chuck in the mix, which is a fantastic app which you can utilize on your phone called If This Then That, and it's abbreviated to IFTTT. And it's a great little app that lets you run what they call recipes, that if I post to Instagram, I want you to post the photo natively to Twitter. If you can run recipes that if someone likes a photo, you can respond with a particular message. And things like that. So you can automate a lot of the process. I think that's smart because we know that time is money for a lot of people who might be working and trying to build their side hustle, or the average solopreneur. They need to be smart about their time. So I highly do encourage using one of these platforms to make your posting process easier. But not only that, is learning how to create some of that content by dedicating focus time and scheduling those posts for the entire week. So that social media should never be a burden. It's supposed to be an asset that you can leverage to build an audience and eventually send that audience into your lead generation with targeted content that eventually directs them to your core offering. So, if social media is stressing you out, there's some practical ways by utilizing these platforms to schedule that and make it a little bit more convenient for you.
Let's talk a little bit about your brand voice and the image. How important is it to establish that prior to sort of jumping on and just and firing off posts? Because for a lot of people, making the transition from an individual person on social media to a brand, they're two very different things, aren't they? When I post as Sarah Jane King and talking about, oh, this happened to my dog today, there should presumably be a difference between that and this is me, Sarah Jane King, posting as author person. Or should there?
Yeah, I mean, you could have a Facebook fan page or page dedicated to your being an author, which you can have as a Facebook business page. I
don't think I'm there yet, and I'm not being overly modest or anything. I find that a bit cringy. When there's people who have a sort of public persona, sort of quite minimal, and then they open up a fan page or something. I find that really cringy. How do you know at what point that you've gone past the cringe level?
Well, I think that's a matter of perception. I think you're there.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't.
I guess that comes back to that thing. Is like, what do I do? What do I want to be known for? What problem do I solve? Or how am I being of service to you? And if that narrative is displayed more clearly through a very clear channel, like let's say a Facebook business page, where the Facebook cover photo it's like Sarah Jane King, author, current book title, things like that. It's starting to create that perception in the market of what type of messaging they're going to get there.
Yeah.
Where if it's you playing with the dog or, dog in front of the fireplace, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I'd say more keep that towards your closed user group standard profile.
Sure. But who doesn't love to see a picture of Caesar? I know you do, Joshua. I know you love it.
Yeah, I smash that like button frequently. You know what the thing is? So I think there's nothing wrong with sharing a little bit of your personal life if you don't want to go that route. Being known for positivity. If you're going to be controversial, you'll probably have a little bit of excitement in your life on social media, but I would avoid topics that position one open up to risk in the social space.
What could you be talking about, Joshua?
Well, we've seen a lot of these situations on social media over time where people get into political debates, say things that they shouldn't say.
Inappropriate things.
To delete it from the internet, because once it's out there, it's out there.
True. That is very true. On that note, we're going to have to leave it there because we're fast approaching the news and I will get my knuckles severely wrapped if I haven't wrapped this conversation. Joshua, it's lovely to have you back with us. Please join us again soon.
Absolutely loved it, and I'll chat again soon and have a good show.
Thanks so much for taking the time to listen to this podcast. If you found it helpful, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe and share this with your friends. Don't forget to grab that free download in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.